A project tracker isn't just a glorified to-do list. It's also not the spot where you keep all of the tiny little details of the project. The best project trackers are the ones that have just enough information in them so that you can know exactly where you're up to, but not so much information that it becomes overwhelming to use, overwhelming to update, and then you don't end up using it. Hi everyone, welcome to this week's Thursday episode of the Design Dialogues podcast. If you've ever felt overwhelmed trying to keep track of all of your projects, juggling timelines, client updates, and supplier orders, then I think you're really going to find today's episode helpful. Today, I'm talking about why it's so important that you have a project tracker. A system in your business that will help you stay in control of every job without stress. Now, if you're anything like most designers that I talk to, you're probably managing multiple projects at once. You've got design concepts to finalize, orders to place, client emails to answer, and site visits to attend. You're going to have projects in all different stages. And sometimes it can definitely feel like your to-do list is never ending. And that's why you need a solid project management system. Because when you're trying to keep everything in your head or relying on scattered emails and sticky notes and WhatsApp chats and text messages and Instagram DMs, things can really start slipping through the cracks. So today I'm going to talk you through how to structure your tracker so you can always see every project is at, what key details to include so you don't miss important deadlines, tools that you can consider using, and how to make it a habit, because that is most probably the most important thing, staying consistent when you are using your project tracker. And the bonus for you is I've actually created a free project tracker template for you that you are going to be able to download and start using today. It's the exact framework that I use in my own studio. I want you to imagine this scenario. You're working on multiple client projects. One client is waiting for a furniture proposal, another is expecting an update on their kitchen renovation, and a third is about to go into the construction phase. You think you've got everything under control. But then one of your supplier calls to say a key item is out of stock. A client also emails asking why they haven't received an update. And suddenly you realize a deadline has passed without you noticing. And this all happens by about 11 o'clock on a Monday morning. Does this sound familiar? This kind of chaos happens when there's no centralized project tracking system in place. Without one, it's really easy to lose track of important details, forget tasks, and forget to follow up on things, or feel like you're constantly playing catch up. A well-structured project tracker gives you a bird's eye view of every project, so at any moment you know what stage each project is at, no more guessing. What tasks are still outstanding? Everything is clearly laid out. Who's responsible for what? So you're not doing it all alone. And any potential delays or roadblocks so that you can address these early before they become problems. Having a project tracking system in your studio, it's all about reducing stress, improving efficiency, and ensuring your projects stay on track without you having to constantly chase information. So, what do you include in a project tracker? A project tracker isn't just a glorified to-do list. It's also not the spot where you keep all of the tiny little details of the project. The best project trackers are the ones that have just enough information in them so that you can know exactly where you're up to, but not so much information that it becomes overwhelming to use, overwhelming to update, and then you don't end up using it. A project tracker is a system that helps you manage all the moving parts of a project in one place. So here are some of the key components that you're going to want to include. A project overview. This is kind of like just a quick snapshot. It's the project name, maybe the client name, maybe the project address, and just a really kind of broad start and expected completion dates. We don't need to know all of the project information here, but it's just enough to really identify it. The second is key dates and deadlines. Now, as I said before, this is not about getting down into the weeds. It's about key milestones and deadlines so that we can keep the project moving, but that you can also stay on top of those timelines. So we were thinking major milestones, thinking design presentations, approvals, and builder deadlines. Order deadlines. When do we need to be making final decisions to make sure that we're hitting delivery timelines? And expected completion dates. So you are always aware of where you're up to in the project. The next thing that you need to include is task breakdown and responsibilities. Every project has a long list of to-dos. And if we're not careful, you can easily forget stuff, especially if you have multiple team members working across the project and allocation of tasks and who is responsible for that task is not clear. So we're wanting to be including key phases. So the concept development, sourcing, purchasing, site visits, installation. We want to make clear who is responsible for that, who and what are the deliverables that we need at that time. And then also what are the due dates. When everything is broken down step by step, it's so much easier to manage and keep projects running smoothly. Now, this is something that I think is so important, but most designers don't include in their project trackers. And this is around communication and approvals. It's really important to include in your tracker when you are going to be communicating with the client. And this goes back to if you have included in your onboarding process and your welcome packs that you are going to give the client updates weekly, fortnightly, whatever it is that you've said, and then you don't do that, then that is going to be a big red flag to the client. And they are going to be wondering, why aren't I hearing from her? What is going on? And they're going to start losing trust in the process. So having your communication in the project tracker, so when you are going to communicate with the client, when are you due to send out those updates, is really important. Best tool for setting up So what is the best tool for setting up a project tracker? Now, these can be as basic or as complicated as you like. And there are many different ways I've seen this done. And I have to say the ones that usually work the best are the most simple. I actually use a good old Google Sheet or Excel. It's really simple. It's easy to customize. You can have tabs for multiple projects. It's just simple. There are so many softwares and apps now available that do some of these things, do all of them. And that might be the one that you like. If you are using one in your studio right now, you might be loving it. But the thing is, it actually doesn't matter what you build the project tracker on and how you use it, how fancy it is. The one thing that you need to make sure you are doing is that you are making it a habit of using it. A system is only useful if you actually use it. So how do you get into the habit of using your project tracker? Start your day by checking it. Make it the first thing you do. You sit down at your desk, don't open your emails, don't open your phone, don't start documenting. Look at your project tracker. And that should be really the thing that sets you off and go, okay, I've got 5 things that I've got to do today. I've looked across my 5 projects that I'm working at and I can see the key priorities that I need to do. And that becomes your to-do list for the day. It's a really easy habit to do, and it makes sure that you are using the tracker and you are staying on top of things. The next thing is to update it in real time. So this tracker, and obviously because I do mine in Google Sheets, it's a live document. I'm using it every day. I'm in there all the time and I'm updating it in real time. I don't wait to the end of the day. I don't wait to the end of the week. I am updating it as I am doing things. And the last thing, and this is really key if you have a team or people that you're working with, or possibly, like people that you outsource work to, schedule a weekly check-in. Spend 15 minutes reviewing the project tracker. Make sure that everyone is updating it. Make sure that at the end of the week, your project tracker is up to date. It means that you're going to pick up any things that might have been missed. It means that you're going to be able to get a jump start on the following week. But it is such a great habit to get into that you start the day by checking in on the tracker and you end the week by closing it off and making sure it's all up to date. I can guarantee there is no better feeling than at the end of your work week, whether that's whatever day that is, but Friday afternoon, you go in, you make sure your project tracker is up to date, and you can see exactly where you are on all your projects. It's a great feeling to be heading into the weekend with. So there you have it. That's my little spiel on why you need a project tracker. As I mentioned, to make things easier, I've put together a template of my project tracker that I have used in my own studio, and you can download it right now from the show notes. It is designed to help you stay organized and in control. And of course, if you've got any questions about it, please don't hesitate to send me an email or a DM. I would love to chat to you about it. I hope you've enjoyed today's episode and you found it helpful, and I look forward to our next Design Dialogue. That's it for today's episode. I hope this gave you some fresh ideas and motivation to refine how you run your studio. But here's the thing, having the right strategies is one thing, actually implementing them is another. And if you're feeling stuck, overwhelmed, or just unsure where to start, that's exactly what my Systems and Processes Health Check is for. It's a one-on-one deep dive into how your studio runs, pinpointing where things are working, where they're not, and giving you a clear roadmap to streamline your processes. And the thing is, my health check is different from other mentoring out there. We don't just talk, we put together clear, actionable items that I hold you accountable for, because I want to make sure that at the end of the health check, you see a real difference in your business. Imagine having a studio that runs smoothly, where you're in control, and where you can finally focus on the design work that you love. If that sounds like exactly what you need, head to the website to book in your health check today. Thanks for tuning in, and if you found this episode helpful, share it with a fellow designer who could use these insights too. See you for our next Design Dialogue.